Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of TFT Hyper Roll for Mission for Tuition. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, do anything to help the YouTube algorithm, because this helps pay for our son's high school tuition, because he has to go to a ridiculously, frightfully expensive school. With that said, let's get started. So let's do the time warp and jump to where this really matters. I already had a Sejuani that I put a Sunfire Cape on because that's what I'm going to do when I get those items, and then I get a ryze out of the NPC round and the opportunity for gear upgrades. So you know where this is going. I now have 3 guild champs, and unlike last time where I showed you a ryze build and it was built around trainers, this one is going to be built mainly around guild and mage. Now with gear upgrades, you want to get items onto champions, so the only other item I had at this point was the sparring glove, so I put it onto Twitch. This team already has 2-star Sejuanis and another one waiting on the bench and a fully formed Heimerdinger. So I'm a little concerned that they are going in pretty much the same direction I have, but I might have an advantage because I already have ryze. Again, with gear upgrades, I want to get items onto the guild champions as fast as possible, and the needlessly large rod will fit perfectly onto ryze, and so there it will stay. And I was really hoping for a silver Sejuani at this point, but well, you saw where they all were on another champ, and this person also has a fully formed Heimerdinger. So they are out there, and it is helping me to make a decision to stay away from trainer this time, because I can already see that getting a 3-star Heimer would be almost impossible. I went ahead and brought in Lilia to act as the second Cavalier, so we tank up our little 1-star Sejuani, but also to be the next Mage in the bunch, because with a ryze on the team, I do want to take advantage of the Mage buff at some point. I'm trying to turn this into a Mage guild build, and we'll see how that all works out. So I'm given a set of items, and the spatula is really tempting, but I'm going to need a tier for ryze at least at some point, and so I decide to pick that up. And watching this next fight, I feel you got to admit something here. For a 1-star, 1-cost champion, Sejuani is well outperforming expectations. I feel like the gear upgrades along with the Sunfire Cape is allowing her to hold on. The second set of augments really tests my resolve on what I want to do with this build, and I have a tome of traits that I picked up during the NPC round. I decide to go Mage Heart, so that I can get an additional mage. It'll also give me a Nami, and that way I'll be able to get to 5. I go ahead and make the blue buff and put it on ryze, yes, instead of the Spear of Sojin. I also do the Hextech Gunblade on him, so I'm getting some healing as well. Then it's time to look at my Tome of Traits, and there it is! Guild Emblem. Exactly what I'm looking for. That will give 3% Omnivamp team-wide and double that to the champion who has it, so I decide to go ahead and put that on Nami, while I also pick up a Silas for being another mage later on in the match. Now I'm going to speed through this, but can we just take another moment to appreciate the 1-star Sejuani with just the Sunfire Cape, who manages to stay alive through the entire match and pretty much ensure the victory. So after the NPC round, after getting a couple of items, I decided to go a little cuckoo bananas, and I put 2 Hextech Gunblades on ryze. I did this mainly because I did have a magnetic remover, so I felt I could reposition things later on if I really needed to. I'm half tempted to use that on Sejuani to bring her up to 2 stars, but I'm not quite that crazy. With 5 mages, 4 guilds, and the gear updates, ryze is getting a lot of power, which is part of the reason I decided to turn him into a healing machine. But again, can we just appreciate Sejuani at this moment? 1-star, just a Sunfire Cape, and she stays alive. Now ryze is doing the damage, but she's holding him in place. The 5 mage bonus is also allowing Silas to cast twice, therefore getting a better shield, and also Lilia to cast twice, so she's doing additional damage and getting the advantage of the Cavalier buff. This comp is holding up surprisingly well at this point, with Lilia leading the damage charts. It's now time for the final augment, so let's see what we get. Celestial Blessing and Second Wing are certainly not bad, but I decide to try my luck and see what I can get. At this point, given the gear upgrade that I'm getting, I decide to go with the Cybernetic Uplink just because it also contains a little extra mana. So that will help Ryze gain faster, cast more often, heal more. We pick up a Talon to continue the guild theme, and away we go. And one more time, can we please appreciate the 1-star Sejuani that refuses to die? She's in the front line, she's in everyone's face, but she makes it through the entire match and isn't at the bottom of the damage charts. It's now Treasure Dragon time. First offering is not what I'm looking for, but this is really intriguing. With a 2-star Twitch and another on my bench, I feel there's the chance to take him to gold. But with the Mage augment, I'm primarily heading to a Mage build. But I could take the Ginsu's Rageblade and the Tear and Bow and make a static Shiv. And that would give Twitch the ability to lower the magic resist for everyone on the team. And remember, his guild bonus is attack speed, so he's going to be attacking very fast. And we're coming up to a very sad moment in this game, as for the first time in a long time, our 1-star Sejuani is going to go down. But never fear, the rest of the team will rally back even against the angry spider, and Twitch and Ryze finish them off with Ryze leading the damage charts. I was a little torn about whether to go with Xayah into Swift Shot to enhance Twitch, or pick up the mages to enhance the mage buff. But since we're gaining additional mana and we finally got our 2-star Sejuani, I decide to lean into Mage at this point and make that the focus of the build, staying at 5 guilds. Having picked up a Bloodthirster off the NPC, I decide to use my Magnetic Remover on Twitch so that I can make it Static Shiv, Rageblade, and Bloodthirster so he can be stronger. Also, I have the ability at any time to take him up to gold since I do have a Champion Duplicator. I'm just holding back to see how the match ends up going, because at the moment, I'm still at the top. This is, however, a weak spot in the build because we're at 6 mages instead of 7, and it's going to be that 7th mage that gets us to the next power spike. So for right now, I'm not necessarily expecting to win, I just want to make it to the next round. But with our chances of rolling a 2 dwindling, I decide to use the Champion Duplicator to bring Twitch up to 3 stars so he can do as much damage as possible from his position. I have my 2-star Zoe, my 2-star Ryze, and now my 3-star Twitch to help make this team complete. Sejuani tries to hang in there, but she gets eliminated. That's happening more and more now. I guess taking her up to 2 stars was a bad idea. But ultimately, Twitch ends up carrying this round, so we can now go up to the 7 mages. I decide to go ahead and swap Talon for Bard, because Bard helps with mana generation, and the faster that Ryze can generate mana, the faster he can heal the champions, and of course, also do damage, and now that we're at 7 mages, we get 125% ability power. For our final item shop, I just decide to go with the rapid fire cannon so that Bard can attack faster. And then I go ahead and put the Renegade Last Whisperer onto Bard as well, just because he's going to be attacking fast, and so this will shred some armor. Ultimately, my goal is for him to get lots of chimes and hopefully get us more bards so we can get him up to 2 stars. And here you can see it all come together, with the 2 Cavaliers in front, and Silas also performing as a tank, Ryze providing enough healing, and Twitch just wrecking things from the outside, we are ultimately able to fend off an Aurelian Soul with some pretty good items, and that will take us, I would say, into the top 4, but it's actually top 3. We go into this fight against a team that has beat us before, but that was when we were at 6 mages and didn't have our full power. Keep your eye on Ryze in terms of how much healing he ultimately puts out and heals himself, keeping himself alive. Although in reality, Twitch is the real star of this. After Bard stuns their Ryze, who has the prime items, Twitch just takes him out, and it leads us to victory because the other person was facing our ghost. Hope you enjoyed this video and have an absolutely awesome day.